And admit Janice. There we go. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Committee of the Whole meeting on this September 6th, 2022. As you can see, Shannon is in the acting seat for CAO for the next month. Cam is on holidays, well deserved. Hopefully we won't be bothering him for the next. No phone calls. With that, we don't have any amendments to the agenda, so can I have a motion to adopt the agenda, please?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilor Hancher and Councilor Paquette. All in favor? Carried. Adopt the minutes from the Committee of the Whole meeting of August 16th, 2022.
Make a motion to adopt minutes.
Thank you, Councilor Slager.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilor Burtis. Any questions or comments?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. All right, motion to pay the open payables in the amount of $1,303,524,082.
Motion to pay the open payables of. Is that at the end here? Put that on here. $1,303,524.82.
Thank you, Councilor Paquette.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilor Curtis. Any questions?
Due to the large amount that is normally in our open payables for the audience and just for,
The record.
but yes, we'll go over, can we go over some of the large, so people are like, 1.3 million, what? So that we can,
Well,
just quickly.
yeah, no, there's no problem there, but number 8 on our agenda for the admin report payables,
Yeah,
we'll explain it in full detail. So what happened was,
so what if there's things that are missing?
this is just-
'Cause that's capital, this is O&M.
The 1.3 million is just this period. It's because all the capital purchases in the thing, we've got the hydrovac and pickups.
Okay.
So it's just literally for this one.
Okay, sure.
This doesn't include those extra.
yeah, you're right. Okay, my apologies. My apologies. And yes, Thomas, do you want me to go over the biggest purchases in the payables then?
Say top 5 then.
Sure, okay. So from the top of the list, we have.
Not top 5, like the
Top
most.
five, yeah, I got you. So I'll just go with the biggest, which is Westvac Industries. And that would be our vac truck. And that was $618,000 and $62. Sorry, say that again, $618. $618,080
Got it.
5 cents. Holy moly. There's also 2 vehicles, White Horse Motors, 59,869.94 cents, 2 trucks. And then we have 536,346 Yukon Inc. That would be different. What was that, Shannon?
That is in company name for custom concrete,
Okay,
and it was for crushing.
all right, thank you. There's a huge ATCO bill.
That is for the Raven Hill lighting project and electric heat upgrade.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. And HVAC Tech Systems.
That was the Northern Light Center heating repairs and the rec zone valve.
Okay. And Superior Roofing
Is the first draw on the rec center roof.
repairs. And that one was $173,250. So those are the biggest outstanding payables. Is there anything else, Councilor Slager? You
No, that's it. I just wanted them in that
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
voice recording for people that are watching. They're like, why is it so large?
thank you.
absolutely. Thank you. And yes. So with that said, any more questions?
No.
All in favor? Carried. Visa payables, we'll go with that. Is there any questions from the visa payables?
No.
Okay. So we'll move on to number 5 then, is a letter from Emily Wanford. That's how you pronounce it.
Mhm.
Everybody had a chance to read that. Questions, discussions, comments from anybody?
You're just looking for a letter of support.
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
Just trying to unite the youth for the region. And I don't think, we're not committing to any financial implications, but I think it's an opportunity for us to be a part of something that
I
might.
don't have any problem providing a letter of support.
I'll make a motion to provide a letter of support for Emily Wanford for her. Just getting it right here. Youth Project Coordinator Liaison position.
I'll second that.
it's a new.
Thank you,
job
Councillor Slager.
That she's
Councillor-
posing,
She's advocating to have this position created.
yeah,
Which would probably work closely with the CELC that's existing. The Community Education Liaison Coordinator.
Who has that position?
I don't know, but I just know that's the position's name that already exists.
Okay.
is that through the schools?
No, that's band office. Oh, and school.
That's what I mean, it's a band office, yeah, but through the schools, right?
It's a band office position, but they work in this.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Slater. Thank you, Councillor Hanchar. Yeah, worthwhile endeavor. All in favor? Carried. All right, next, number 6 is the Canadian Institute of Forestry, National Forest Week. Suppose I could read this letter. This September, we're inviting municipalities across Canada to declare National Forest Week in their communities. This 1-week campaign that takes place during the last week of September each year challenges Canadians across the country to learn more about the forest sector and its significance to Canadian culture, history, and future, while also supporting a greater recognition of forest as a valuable, renewable, and green resource. The theme this year, Canada's forest solutions for changing climate, will highlight the inextricable link between us and our forests. From local communities to vast woodlands, we will be celebrating the nature-based solutions for climate change, mitigation, and adaptation provided by Canada's forests. Forests help reduce climate change by trapping and storing greenhouse gases. Trees also soften the impacts of changing climate and extreme weather by moderating temperatures and protecting biodiversity. This year's theme showcases the importance of sustainable forest practices, research, conservation, engineered wood products, and innovative technologies to provide solutions from Canadian forests. By emphasizing their role within climate change, our goal is to foster an enthusiasm for forests and invite individuals to engage in sustainable action. Participating in the hashtag National Forest Week can be simply as declaring National Forest Week in your community and sharing posts and graphics of social media created by CIF IFC using the hashtag National Forest Week. The Resource Works Society will also be sharing stories about working forests and forestry communities throughout the week. So we have a couple of resolution examples. Any discussion, comments, support, unsupport? Not supportive.
Is this something that the town has done in the past? Or is this-
I've never seen anything.
I've never seen this
this,
before either.
but it's not. The
You
comp,
try to do every town and city, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like a whole nation
Yeah.
thing, right?
might be somewhat new.
Yeah.
Small initiative, getting some support. I mean,
I don't see anything wrong with you making a
declaration.
proclamation.
Sure, let's do that. I will do,
Maybe we can share something on social media, whatever.
we'll see how that goes.
If they already have graphics that we can just share, then
I will do option C, because it's a maritime, I'll just read it. Canada's forests are a valuable renewable resource that contribute greatly to the livelihoods, health, and culture of our communities, as well as the maintenance of our ecosystems, their wildlife, and resilience in the face of climate change. Therefore, as mayor of the town of Watson Lake, I declare September 18th to the 24th, 2022 as National Forest Week in the town of Watson Lake. Clap. All right. Meeting. Okay. Janice is in favor. Okay, moving right along.
Oh, and we have to inform. Should your city bottom notice?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So number 10. Third and final reading of bylaw 2205, bylaw to amend the zoning oh, I got way ahead of myself. Holy moly. Sorry, Shannon. Number 7, CAO, acting CAO report.
Right. Okay, so I just have a bit of an update by department. So at the rec center, roof repairs are underway. The Parks and Rec staff have been doing cleanup at the cemetery. There's a swim camp training scheduled for this weekend next. And we have students attending so that they can have the training required to work the pool next year. Should help alleviate some of the staffing issues we ran into this year. The recreation manager is currently working on a CDF application due by September 15th to replace the dock at Lucky Lake. And the Terry Fox Run is scheduled for September 8th. At the Northern Lights Center, they are closed now for the season effective September 5th. Staffing this season at the facility was difficult as it was in other departments. The operations manager is currently working on having a new fuel tank installed, and this should take place next week. And HVAC is going to be completed in October. The 25th anniversary celebration weekend has been scheduled for September 30th and October 1st. This will be advertised to the community. So there will be coffee and snacks available, and the public will be able to watch the shows for free. So there's also been a funding application submitted for the Northern Light Center to Canmore and Yukon Government for replacement of the projection equipment. And Jordan Stackhouse and Karen Furlong are doing the assessment, which was when we originally applied for funding for the projection equipment. YG came back and asked us to do an assessment, which they are funding. So an assessment on the facility. And so Jordan Stackhouse and Karen Furlong are completing this, and Jordan may join the council meeting either September 20th or October 5th to discuss this with council. So for municipal services, at the new municipal building, the sewer installation has failed in 2 sections. So Arctic Backhoe is coming September 19th to dig those up and repair them. The property is going to be compacted, filled in with geotech and graded. This is going to be completed by YG on the one side where it's kind of sloughing off. And the deficiency list is currently being completed. At the admin building, the operations manager is dealing with the completion of the landscaping and remaining deficiencies on the admin building renovation project. For infrastructure, the Tina sewer line was put out for tender and all bids came in significantly over budget. So this has been canceled for this year and will be re-tendered in February.
I am with the big project. right?
Yes, to tie in this phase 1 of
Infrastructure.
the infrastructure project. For operations, Island Kachika will be completing the Auburn Drive project, and this is going to begin at the end of this week. At Protective Services, negotiations are still ongoing with regards to the vacant fire chief position. And the Colliers project updates. So public waste drop off. This project is going to be re-tendered with a scheduled spring start. The lighting upgrades at the rec center are ongoing. The contractor is waiting on materials and expected to start up again towards the end of next week. Change rooms have not yet been started. Colliers is in discussion with Arkwright regarding completion date, etc. And the ice plant upgrades will be completed in the next couple of weeks. But that is all I had. Is there any questions?
No, just disappointing to hear about the Tintina thing, obviously.
As they did in a previous meeting, they did say that they're going to purge it to remove any restrictions within the pipe. So I'm assuming that means weeds.
I know, but I just feel like it's not gonna be any cheaper,
Yeah.
you know, in a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can get through this winter and then next year, when were gonna do the second section of streets, they can combine the two efforts when the crew's here. And
And make it cheaper because they're already here, sort of thing,
Yeah.
right?
doing two sections in one, correct? I'm curious with the fire chief position where it said. Correct me, what did it say?
Negotiations are ongoing.
So they have a fire chief in mind, but they're what? Just trying to figure out salary or?
Well, nothing's been filled or accepted as of yet. So there's no, the position has not yet been.
Has an offer been provided?
There was one to my knowledge. I'm not sure where it's at.
The swim camp training, the town pays for that?
Yes.
And do we have like a commitment from the people going that they're gonna work at the pool next
Yeah,
year?
For sure, but
Okay,
for sure,
That
I've made it.
table link to it?
I just thought,
So, right.
they, you know, like.
No, for sure.
Next year.
I mean, it would kind of be an expectation, I would imagine, that if the town is.
Well, yeah, but if it's not-
comfortable with that, then you should be a part of that.
It's nothing we can guarantee.
No, because
Yeah.
you still have to fill and then like the pool manager position for them to work there. So it's not a
But I
given.
think we, yeah.
Oh, I thought they're actually getting like pool manager.
No, just so for they can be like junior lifeguards. So you still need a manager to manage the pool.
But at least if we get a
Good
manager.
thing you're all trained up, so.
Yeah, and also they can work at, I think I think though they can work at the water. Side.
Yes,
My understanding, without manager, if you wanted to open the water side up.
that's correct.
Yeah.
I think it's one step in trying to
Yes.
get all the,
For sure, it's nice to hear that people are actually
yeah.
want to do the training, definitely.
And I think from there, if it's, none of them choose to be a manager, they could probably be trained at that point to be a manager. I think you have to have general lifeguard duty abilities. But, you know,
It's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
that's right.
But the training is only offered at certain times, I think, as well, so that's the other thing.
Mhm.
Right? So,
Cause it's very weird. It's twice in the month. They have to go for like 4 days or 3 days or something.
yeah, it's
like
this
that.
weekend and
Yeah,
the next
and then the
weekend, so
following
it's
weekend.
like, yeah, Thursday.
I know in the spring they offered to actually do the training here, but it just didn't work out. I guess they didn't have the people interested at that time.
Well, they all had jobs. at the
Mhm.
town, doing other
Yeah.
things.
Anywho,
Okay. All right. Any other questions for?
no,
Okay. Thanks, Shannon. I just have a little question that you might not have the answer to, but is there a scheduled ice making, what, ice opening day?
installation.
Okay. Yeah, okay, thanks. Okay, once again, when we will move right along, we'll go to the admin report number 8. Payables. Well, the purpose of this admin report is to advise council that 2 periods of payables had not been submitted to them for review. Financial implications, there is no financial implications as all the purchases had been reviewed by the CAO, processed and paid on time and within budget. The CAO, this is a little background just on how this came up. CAO was conducting an audit of a few invoices when it was discovered that payables for 2 periods had not been submitted to council for review. 2 sets of payables were for periods when council meetings had been canceled and an oversight did not have them carried over to the next meeting. The first period was for the April 1st to 14th, and the second one was for July 1st to July 27th. The April 19th meeting was canceled and the July 19th and August 2nd did not take place as they were part of council summer break. It was also discovered that due to a clerical issue, the same set of payables were presented and adopted at the May 17th and June 7th council meetings. To mitigate this from happening in the future, administration has put checks and balances in place to ensure all payables are presented to council for all periods between the meetings. The missing payables have been attached. for review. Any questions or comments?
Do we have to pass? Do we have to make a motion to pass these ones?
No.
Okay.
Also, when I was discussing this with Cam, in the past, council would actually check off or go through the payables once in a while. And if it suits your fancy or you're curious as to what the payables look like in a period, you're more than welcome to come in and go through a portion of those payables. I did it in my second term for a year or so. And it really kind of enlightens you as to what's being purchased, when and how much, and it gives you a really good sense of what those payables look like. So we don't have to do it all the time, but if you would like to do it, just so you can get a good idea what it is, then you're more than welcome to. And I would suggest to take that opportunity just once or twice, just to see. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Good idea.
All right, number 9. This admin report, Arts in the Park, administrative report to notify council correspondence received from music regarding the cancellation of performers for Arts in the Park. The financial implications, Music Youth Fund has recommended that the town pay the performers who were scheduled to perform at Arts in the Park. Performers receive $800 to travel to Watson Lake. Arts in the Lake. Background, the Midnight Suns band were booked to play at the Arts in the Park and Discovery Day dance on the weekend of August 13th to the 15th, but they canceled their trip once they were made aware that the dance was canceled, as they did not feel that the trip was worth their while. The following weekend, August 20th, Ross Hunter and Nicholas Ma were booked to play at Arts in the Park. However, due to the low Arts in the Park attendance this season and no musicians lined up for August 27th, weekend, also the last weekend of the season, Alyssa Megan made the decision to end the season early and cancel the last booked musicians. The artists were advised of the cancellation 1 week prior. On August 23rd, the town received correspondence from Scott Maynard, Executive Director of Music Yukon, requesting that the town pay musicians for the canceled performance due to the short notice cancellation. As per the attached letter, the town of Watson Lake pays Arts in the Park musicians $800 to cover travel, food, and accommodation expenses and performance. There's 2 recommendations. The preferred recommendation, have administration and Parks Recreation review the artist musician booking process and ensure that there is a cancellation clause in place for future bookings. Or number 2, pay out Rox Hunter and Nicholas Ma for the canceled booking and have administration and Parks Recreation review the artist musician booking process and ensure that there is a cancellation clause for future bookings. Discussion, comments.
We canceled them, they didn't cancel on us.
I know, and it was at the very last minute, and just further to. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna read this or whatever, but like. Sorry, I just don't want to misquote this, but basically COVID was hard on a lot of people, especially in that industry, and like,
It was a weekend.
it was weekend, it was, anyway, I don't know, I'm torn a little bit.
I'm kind of torn as well, because I feel like if you don't pay, right? Then
Again.
where does that put us when it comes to Arts in the Park and our reputation in that respect?
Yeah,
And then, but the other thing is, how much notice do we have to give them before,
that's
right?
both of these recommendations say that we will review the cancellation clause for
Because
future
it probably
bookings,
is not.
because I think that needs to be done regardless. I
Yeah.
think the issue is just like whether or not we're gonna pay like, is it, so it's $1,600, I guess, would be, because it's 2 people, or is it $800 for both of them?
$800.
Just $800. I think that, like, I totally agree with you, like, just as far as. I don't think that was really fair that we canceled at the last minute. Like, there's 1 week left, even if nobody was going, like, we already had that booked, it was already arranged, it was already good to go.
I see it as too, like, you don't want to burn bridges, so I mean, it's tough to get them here in the first place.
Exactly, and good luck
I
getting them.
discourage people if there's bookings and you're canceling at that point in time,
Yeah,
it's tough, and it was hard on people, and there was also funding for Arts in the Park, so,
yeah,
Well, if there's funding, then, then we have a pot of money for that.
Funding regardless, it's kind of, I look at it as more of a honor thing, like.
Yeah.
I hired you to do a job and you're expected to show up, and then say you were ready to show up and I said, no, I don't need you. Too late for you to get work elsewhere.
yeah,
It's still up to me to pay you.
Yeah, it's an honorable thing.
Because the next time I say, oh, I got another job for you, like, yeah, right. Remember last time?
No, and that's what I agree. It's an honorable thing to do for sure. And it's, then that's what I mean about our reputation, right? Like it's, you know, gonna be hard to get people to attend to Arts in the Park here to come to Watson Lake if we don't,
Mhm.
you know, support the people that are coming.
So. Can I make a motion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll make a
I
mo-
mean,
I'm sorry, you want
Sure. I'll make a motion that we go with recommendation number 2, which is that we pay out Rock Center and Nicholas Ma for their canceled booking and have administration and Parks Rec review the artist musician booking process and ensure that there's a cancellation clause for future bookings.
I'll second.
Very well done, Lauren. Thank you.
A little, thank you, Councillor Hanchker and Councillor Burtis, little friendly, amendment of $800.
Yes, of $800.
But was it $800? Is it each or?
It's all together.
They're one act.
Yeah.
Two people.
Okay,
Yeah.
The park.
I just make sure that we don't wanna like
No, we're not
give
paying.
them 50% of what they were, you know, like. We're gonna pull them out.
Yeah, and we'll also maybe draft a little letter to say, in the future, we'll have cancellation clauses and trips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank
Please.
you. All in favor?
Don't let this.
Councillor Hanchard's motion carried.
Yes.
Please don't let this deter you from, you
Yeah,
know, coming here in the past or in the future.
we've had some difficulty with attendance and we don't want that to
We'll be looking.
nail in the coffin.
Mhm.
for-
And was there difficulty in attendance because they changed the location? That had something to do with it?
I think there was a few things, honestly. I think
So-
there was lack of attendance from people wanting to participate in the actual like arts part of the park.
I think there were,
And then they changed the
Different things.
locations and then the weather didn't hold out every time. And then there was no real setup or takedown. And it was, I don't know. I think we should revamp that whole thing a little bit for next year.
The other thing that we might want to consider there is. There is some fuss over home baked goods and whether or not they're prepared in a commercial kitchen. And that's not the intent of Arts in the Park. It's supposed to be like a small artisan
Mhm.
craft. Kind of like somebody making jams at home and they want to sell jams, sell jams.
Yeah.
Like, don't make it like. Sorry, but it's just pithy to complain that somebody doesn't have a commercial kitchen in which to
Sell
prepare
cookies. Yeah.
their cookies. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, because sometimes there's just some groups there that want to make a little bit of extra money and that's the way that they can do it,
I
right?
know, but it's.
Yeah.
That's not the nature of this. And I think that.
I agree with you. And I've always thought, you know, if you're not comfortable with how something was prepared, then don't eat it or don't buy it. But unfortunately, there are
Yeah,
Some
rules and
regulations.
regulations that.
so.
And if we're gonna be the
Yeah.
host, you know, there has to be some discussion around it and some clarification as to what it can be or can't be.
Yeah,
If we're hosting it and we're
Okay.
calling it a specific event.
Yeah.
by the town of Watson Lake, then there has to be
Fair enough, but
something, you know, I understand. Tom.
you know what I mean?
I
Like,
understand.
we should like try to side with the little guy there, not the.
We all understand. and,
Yeah.
You know,
Heck, well,
we can, well, some, maybe not all, but
yeah.
maybe everybody in this room understands where you're getting. And I think that we can come up with a solution.
I didn't attend Arts in the Park. Was there a space over there that,
There's lots.
like no, but some tent area for them to be in over there? No?
I know, but I think we can do it better.
Mm,
Okay. Carrying on. Number 10.
So for the minutes, what's our marching orders on that topic? Again, just for clarification. Yeah, we're gonna review what exactly?
The cancellation clause.
Cancellation clause for any agreements that we have with people for arts in the park.
Okay. And further to that, we're not gonna look at Arts in the Park. We're gonna like. back
That's
off on that.
a private group.
Take
that-
that- That's just fine.
There's a private group that takes that on right now, so.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, this is just simply for musician bookings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we can definitely discuss that in the future, Tom, Councilor Slager. Okay. Number 10. Third and final reading of bylaw 2205, bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw 15. This is for Park Union.
Make a motion to accept. The third and final reading of bylaw 22-05 to amend the zoning bylaw 15-07.
I'll second that.
Councillor Slager, Councillor Fanchar, any questions? All in favor? Carried. Number 11, third and final reading of bylaw 2206, Councillor Code of Conduct.
Make a motion to accept the third and final reading of bylaw 22-06, the council code of conduct. I'll second.
Thank you, Councillor Slager, Councillor Burtis, any more questions, comments?
Not for me.
Favor? Carried. All right, the next two are just for discussion. If there's any questions or comments or something you want to be discussed. So we're not going to call it first reading, but it is bylaw 2207, the CAO bylaw. As we were, if everybody recalls, it's to kind of amend some spending and spending authority for the most part, and their procurement policy is the big part of that. So it's just first reading. If there's any comments, if you guys had a chance to look at it.
Unfortunately, I'm not as well prepared for this as I would have hoped to have been.
Morning, Councillor.
No, I apologize.
Be on top of these things. It's important
What?
next time. Councillor Burtis.
I got that.
Councillor Paquette.
Anything at the moment, no.
Councillor Slager.
When will we bring this up again?
Well, we're going to carry it forward to the next meeting in September, which is a regular council meeting to do the first and second reading. So if there's stuff that you want to see changed in this bylaw, then that will be the time to do so. Okay.
Yeah.
Same with the procurement policy.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
Which will be September.
20th. The policy can be done in one sitting, so we can approve it if everybody's happy with what it is on September 20th. Or it can be tabled with discussion in the next meeting as well, so,
Okay.
okay. Everybody okay with that?
Sorry, section 11.1. For the bylaw 22-07.
Okay.
11-1. States.
Wait, which one are you on? Sorry, which one are you on, Thomas?
Oh, sorry, I'm on the CAO bylaw.
Okay.
Not the procurement. Is there something in, I couldn't remember what it was, I had to find it first.
11 what?
11-1, in carrying out the duties and exercising the authority vested in the CAO shall consult with the mayor. That's it. About what?
Well, it's kind of broken down in 11.2.
Again, it says may provide. So it's like, it's as far as legalese is concerned, may is like, if you feel like it.
Mhm.
Not, you have to.
Should be discretionary somewhat. I mean, it's again, I think it's a working relationship thing. You have to, you know. How much do you want for sure to have that communication with?
I don't know, it's some things that, that like, as sitting in the council chair, you find out about it and you're like, oh, when did that happen? Not very often, but occasionally.
Mhm.
And it's just like, how come we didn't know about that? And you know what I mean? So again, working relationship thing, I guess, I can live with that.
I mean, we can change may to will, and you know, there's discretion at that point too, because.
And understood.
We should think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Because, yeah,
And where did this come from? Like, where did we borrow this from?
I'm not fully sure. Yeah, Dawson City.
Well, Dawson City's doing it, they don't need much.
Right, Dawson City calendar is upstairs, so we gotta keep up the pace.
Firefighter calendar.
Watson Lake calendar.
Exactly.
Hmm,
No, it's fine.
okay,
Give
it a good read, Thomas, and then we can discuss it in the next meeting, okay? And I think we should make sure that we're comfortable with it. Because it is, it's from us, this is our working, this is the point where we have some control. Is within that CA bylaw, so it's good for us to be well aware of what that is. Because this is really control piece for us.
I like a job description almost.
Yeah. It is somewhat.
Yeah, I just give this, somebody that go through the findings, go it all. First week of school.
Yeah, that's fine, but yes, please do try. Okay. All right. So that does away with number 12 and number 13, which will be on the September 20th meeting for first and second reading of bylaw 2207, the CAO bylaw. And hopefully we can pass the policy if there is nothing very arduous in there. Okay. Great. All right, moving on. Council open forum. Questions, comments, anything pressing?
Have we heard anything further on that? And forgive me if we already heard this. Anything further on the Y Lake Trail project?
My understanding on that is they cleared out the Mid Lakes Trail and removed all the obstacles. And so as far as that was like a double matter, I could be wrong.
But there's some Canor funding.
Yeah, like to do the trail.
Sure.
So we did get approval for the project planning, which Heidi Redmond, a consultant at the White Horse, initially put together a plan and now is moving forward with the actual project she's come down, did a site visit, looking at maps of the Y Lake Trail and then working in how we can improve it.
Do we anticipate any of that's happening before, winter?
She said possibly she could have some information for the September 20th town hall,
What,
or October town hall.
October town hall. Okay.
Okay, cool.
He wants to start public engagement right away. Then maybe piggyback off the town hall.
And that was my next question, was about the town hall meeting. I know we talked about a date, but
It's October sometime.
October 12th or 13th.
right, okay, did we lock that down?
No, we didn't, but we should do that right now.
Okay,
We're all here.
12th is a Tuesday after a long weekend.
Tuesday, it's a Wednesday.
Oh, excuse me, okay.
October 12th is a Wednesday, and
13th
13th is Thursday.
I think Wednesday or Thursday, that's my opinion.
Thomas? Councilor
I'm checking
Slater?
I'm checking my calendar right now.
Councilor Burtis?
I prefer the Wednesday, Tuesday,
You prefer Wednesdays? Okay,
just for the town hall meeting, because we're just getting back from a long weekend and
It was Wednesday or Thursday option.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It was,
12th or 13th,
I can't multitask. Let's do it.
12th or 13th, so the Wednesday or the
Either one will stay.
Thanksgiving, it's right after Thanksgiving. I personally prefer the Thursdays.
I prefer Thursdays as well, I think.
Yeah, we have a bit more time to prepare
There's
a
a week.
week.
Like it,
Yeah, okay.
So what's the date?
October 13th,
Thursday, October 13th.
Yeah. town hall meeting. The big topics on that are gonna be the zoning bylaw and the cemetery bylaw.
And. Oh, no, I was thinking budget, but that's not till January.
Budget stand.
Yeah.
6 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Meetings always used to be at 7. I find it too late for 7 o'clock.
I like 6 actually.
Oh,
I was just thinking the other day, we were talking about, all that district heat stuff, when were we talking about that? Anyway, just as far as like secondary heat for the rec center, I can't remember if we have thought, like, have we
definitely discussed it,
Yeah,
especially if there's
Like, have-
expansion.
like, is that in our 5-year thing at all?
Their strategic plan.
I was just, or
It's
the,
not in.
or the capital, or whatever that is that on it?
It's not. It's not in our capital budget.
Because, oh, so the concern was like whether or not there would still be the same output from Echo if, once they take on that solar project. That was the conversation, and you know, whether or not we'd still be able to rely on that to heat our facilities with district heat, you know, going forward. I was just thinking about that secondary heat source, and that maybe we should think about that a little bit more
Sure.
seriously.
Why don't we just put that in the notes to discuss in October, second meeting in October. So that CL Lockwood's definitely the forefront of that.
For sure, and I just didn't want to forget about it,
Okay,
but thank you, that's all for me today.
that's just anything for me.
No, we pretty much covered everything.
Okay. That's it.
Question I have to ask about the dump. So why is it that when we have a holiday on a Monday, they take Saturday off? Like, I don't understand how they get the holiday before the holiday happens. Most people, you get your holiday, and if the holiday happens, then it would be after the fact, not before.
Like the government, how like liquor store, for example, if the holiday falls on the weekend, then they take the next business day, is that what you mean?
Really, yeah, because the thing is, when they take the weekend, that's when everybody is cleaning up and getting their stuff ready and
Something.
taking it out. So I don't,
I think it has a lot, we've asked this in the past, and the big commercial, the commercial dumping is on the Tuesdays. So if you have that big, long stretch over the work week, and you get backed up and it's huge, there's nowhere for the commercial dumping to happen. But we better follow that up with, unless Shannon, you have the answer to that.
No, that's what I was told as well.
Yeah, it's commercial. It's the big users that need that initial dump at the beginning of the week. So to hold it over one more day, it's difficult.
it just seems backward.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So. Ready?
But we can,
I know we're looking at having it so that it's open 24 hours, but I mean, right, I'm not 24 hours, sorry, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
But right now, we don't have that, so it's just, I don't know, I find that really frustrating myself. That I can't get rid of my,
with the public waste drop off, it'll alleviate that.
yeah, it will. We just haven't got anybody that's bid on that contract. That's what I've been asking
Right.
about that too, because I'm like, darn it, I want to get rid of my stuff, that's all. And I'm assuming, you know, that's when everybody else gets, and that's what you hear, is everybody's like, they get really
Yeah.
frustrated with that whole point of not being able to get rid of recycling. And are we ever thinking about having any area here in town to put recycling in, and then it be taken out there from, like, say, the town?
We've
Is that ever, is that,
we have discussed that in the past, and that's just another cost, right? It would be an added cost to recycling that we don't really recycle anyways. We've had discussions with LFN because they tried to start a recycling program that fell to the wayside. There's definitely some interest, like there's been people who've asked to have even the old depot reopened for drop off or somewhere down in a downtown location. The focus has been that public waste drop off and not so much the downtown recycling. So we could definitely follow up and see if there's something within our capital that we can, get that towards where we want it to be. But it's been discussed, just, yeah, it's been difficult because it's a cost, it's a big cost. Having to dump, clean up, fix, move, do again. It's almost another person plus vehicles, etc. So.
I understand it's a cost, but then where's our focus? Is our focus on recycling heavily, or is our focus on, you know what I mean, keeping
Yeah.
stuff out of the dump? So it's sort of like,
On here, where you're coming from.
Has anybody ever looked into Tesla and how they do it? I'm just asking, I don't know.
Tesla has a
Pretty-
funded recycling program.
Yeah, because they're pretty skookum.
Yeah.
So I know they take recycling or garbage twice.
They
Recycling
also
once.
have a pretty high functioning biomass.
No, I just wasn't sure like if that's ever been looked at sort of.
Hmm.
Because it is pretty cool there.
but
They
how
have
do
a
they get
really
the
good. program.
funding? Like,
I don't know. That's the thing is, I
Yeah.
don't know. I
Maybe
just know that's what they do is they pick up garbage twice a week and recycling once. right from your house.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Wakehurst says the same thing, right? So one week they do recycling, one week they do the garbage. So.
I was just using Tezos because they're a smaller community too, so.
But they're also really, it sounds like their dump is pretty high functioning too. If they don't have a lot of manpower. They're running their dump either is what I've heard.
Well, you look back to our strategic plan, since we're talking about beautification's a big part of it, right?
Mhm.
And recycling and cleanup downtown area can be a part of that beautification process. So I think it would also be valuable for something like that for the businesses in town that have to take garbage constantly and are paying for that. It's expensive, so. And it could also fall into like our signpost forest upgrades. Something just to having not a recycling location, but having it available for people to put their recyclables, not local. But we'll bring that forward to administration and just see what else they have to say. Okay? So forget.
Just one more question, is are they staking out for the lighting all the way to 2 Mile? Did you see all the stakes on the side of the road, like? the
Yes,
Whole way down?
That's just planning.
Yeah, like there's,
Yeah,
but that's part of the lighting?
yes, so
Yeah.
if you map from like the Alaska Highway to that last thing, it's exactly 4 kilometers.
Yeah, that's why I was like all the way to the airport the other day, I was like, oh, good.
Yeah,
So, I don't know, it just.
I don't think it's like gonna happen this year, but they're just doing the planning.
No, that's good. That's
Yeah, it
good.
is good.
It's just nice to see something happening, so.
Yeah.
Something, it's nice.
What about those crosswalk signs? Like the lighting needs to be LED, like it's really dim.
That's coming.
Improvements
That's
coming.
coming too, right?
Yes,
Okay,
Mhm.
to clarify that.
it is coming. Okay.
Valerie,
Anything else?
not for me.
No, that's it. Okay. It is committee of the whole, and there's a comment from Janice. Do you want to just speak to your comment, or do you want me to read your comment? Oh, lucky me. All right. Janice is just saying that the venue for Arts in the Park should be looked at. Was there less attendance this summer compared to previous? Yes. I hope some people were not happy with the venue, changed from Y Lake to Northern Light Center. This conversation came up with the group. Sounds like the town is picking up some of the costs, so should have some input. Yeah. That is, we fund the Arts in the Park. And definitely we should discuss.
Yeah,
There should be
funding.
more discussion about trying to pump that up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Janice. You're our only member of the audience today, so if there's nothing else you'd like to add, we'll move on. Okay, moving on. We have nothing for in camera. So last but not least,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
thank you, Councilor Antrim. Thank you, Councilor Paquette. Thank you, member of the audience, for being so dedicated.
Thank you all. Thank you, Janice.
Thank you. Good night.
All right.
Recording.